Now, kind of going off that, speaking of Jacoby Brissett, I've seen his 2017 season where he started 15 games for the Colts brought up almost against him, saying that that's the quarterback Jacoby is. The number is brought up against him. Can you tell me a little bit about the season you think he'll have this year, and why do you think using 2017 as a comparison is just straight up foolish?
Well, it was just, and no offense to anyone on that 2017, it was just a much more sorry roster than the roster you currently see. I mean, look at the offensive line, for example. You've got 4 top 40 picks around Jacoby Brissett now. You certainly did not have that in 2017. You're deeper at the skill positions. Again, you were just kind of void of some of that depth back in 2017 as well. And not to mention Jacoby Brissett had been a Colt for 10 days before the start of the regular season opener. So I think those are all factors that definitely contribute to that. As far as where you would like to see his growth, he did a great job protecting the football back in 2017, and that needs to happen again, obviously. But I think you'll see some of his growth just in the accuracy. And, yeah, a lot of it can be looked at as, like, ball placement and things like that. But just there's, I think, a confidence and a knowledge of this playbook that he now has after, more than 1,200 reps this offseason with the starting offense, to where Jacoby Brissett can confidently go 1, 2, 3-step drop, hitch, throw. Like he can now just be a little bit more in a rhythm guy. And I think at times in his career, especially in the NFL, he's really just been a placeholder as a starter. Now he knows this is his team. So I think you should and you need to see confidence in those areas. Everyone knows about his big arm, but it's some of those other areas that I think he definitely needs to make strides in.
Now, the Colts did sign Brissett to a 2-year, $30 million deal with 20 of that guaranteed this week. Why do you think they felt it necessary to get this deal done right now?
Well, I think there's a couple reasons. First, just the optics of how much you were paying Brian Hoyer as the backup,
right,
and how much Jacoby Brissett was making. Jacoby Brissett was making about $2 million on the last year of his rookie deal before the contract was redone. Brian Hoyer, I think, was making, I want to say, like $4 million per year. So there are the optics of that. And then secondly, which I think is most important, I think he just alleviates some pressure off of the shoulders of Jacoby Brissett. Now, this is already a really, really chaotic situation that he's been thrown into. And I don't think Jacoby would have worried too much about an uncertain future, but he's a human being. And how do you not worry about it, especially if you start this season, poorly or something like that. So I think it just kind of crosses off one item on the Jacoby Brissett checklist, because you have to remember, he's his own agent. He doesn't have an agent. So this guy probably worries about his future contract-wise a little bit more than most players. So I think all those factors played into it. And I think the Colts wanted to send a message, not only to him, but to their whole locker room of like, hey, we are moving on. Jacoby Brissett is our franchise quarterback. They've still left themselves a bit of an out. If things don't go well, they can, have a change of plans during the 2020 offseason. But I think what you've done is you've just sent the right message to your quarterback and to your team of like, all right, let's rally around number 7. He's QB1, and this is the franchise moving forward at the most important position on the team.